Hey guys, how's it going? The Monkey. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial for the song Jesus Christ 2005 God Bless America. It's a really simple song, so we're going to go straight into it. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need a capo, and you're going to want to put it on the 2nd fret. The version that we're playing is the acoustic version that Maddie's been playing around the country, or around countries when he's been on tour. At the time of this, there hasn't been an official release of the song with notes, although we're assuming it will be. And it may sound completely different on notes, but this is what he's playing acoustically. Really, the entire song is only made up of 4 chords. Those 4 chords, if you can see here, are C, A minor 7, which means you just remove your ring finger, a G chord, and also an F chord. So this F chord, what Maddie plays, he plays his thumb on the low E, plays index finger on the B fret, on the B string 1st fret, and he plays his ring finger on the D string 3rd fret. Like me, some of you may struggle to use your thumb. I find that really with the song, he doesn't actually hit it that much when playing any of the chorus notes, which is the only time you use the F. And so you can really just play the bottom 4 chords, or the bottom 4 strings, and ignore the top 2 and just not touch them, and it sounds fine. The way the progression works is it's 4 counts of C, 1 count of A, 1 count of G for the verse. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then 1. The other thing, which I have forgotten to say, but you probably have noticed, is that when you're playing, he always plays with his index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and he always plays with the pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E. And they don't change throughout the entire song, which is fantastic for playing it, because 1, it sounds really nice, and 2, it means you only have to worry about these 2 fingers here the entire way through. So and that's it. That's all the chords. So what we're going to do is go through the hammer-ons, the hammer-offs to make, and the strum progression. And they're very unique, and that's what gives it its lovely sound. Before I continue though, I want to say that on most devices, I believe, in the top right corner, you can see that there should be 3 dots. If you press on that, you'll see an option saying playback speed, and you can choose to slow down the videos or indeed speed them up, but it's not important here. But you can slow down the videos on every single YouTube video. And this is a really handy tool for people who are trying to learn chords and guitars, because if you're struggling to keep up with the way I'm playing it, feel free to slow it down and watch in a slower pace and play along at a slower pace to what is being played normally through the video. That playback feature is handy in all videos. If you're watching someone play and you want to learn how to do it, use that. It's hugely beneficial. But today what I recommend is just watching me play through, trying to keep up and understand, because especially the pick pattern, it was created through me listening to Maddie play and then recreating it with my ear, so I don't really have too much locked in. And then if you're struggling to keep up, watch how I play it in slow-mo and then try and copy what I'm doing. We're going to give it a go first. I'm going to see if I can explain it. It's not too hard, the hammer-on part, and it's not too hard to explain, I don't think, but we'll give it a whirl. And if you're not understanding, or if I'm very bad at explaining, which is possible, please just slow it down the video, watch it, play along with, it'll make it much easier for you. So, the way that Maddie does his chords is he first plays the root note of whatever chord he is. So we're going to start with C, which is where my hand is now. So the root note for the C is the A string. So that's there. So he plays that by itself, and then the way I play it at least, I then do a half strum with a stop, so that you use your palm to like basically stop the strings. And you strum through, and as you reach the bottom, you hit your palm. So just that. The next thing that Maddie does is he then hammers on the string below the root. So in this case, it is the D chord. So it would be, right? Then what I do when I play it is I do a strum down, making sure I hit the high E, and then I flick the D string on the way up. So you'll hear it here, right? And then after that, I play the root note again. Now it's easier for C than it is for A and G, that root note, because you have to remember to change the chords when you hit that root note again, because that root note is technically the start of the second, like the second beat. So when you go from A to G, that root note needs to be not the A, but the G. And that's the big one, because you're playing a different chord, a different string. So I'll go through it nice and slow for you. Once again, if you need to slow it down, please do. That wasn't very good. I'm sorry. I shouldn't try to slow it down when I know the video can. Basically, what you can see there is that when I went from the C to the A minor, all I did was remove that index finger like you're normally playing it, but I still hit that A chord and I still hammer on the D. So even though your bass chord is just that, you still take off that D string and then hammer it on. So it'd be, right? And yeah, the same with the same from C to G. And this part is the part that took me a little while, and it's a little bit tricky because you have to change from hitting the A as the root to the low E as the root, and you need to be playing on the third. And then you hammer on the A. You don't hammer on the D. You hammer on the A string. Right? And that's the verse. Also, this part, that is used as a transition out from the chorus to the verse again. We'll get to that in a little bit. So with the chorus, what I try to do, I'm going to play it through first so both I remember, and then you can slow it down if you need to. So you're holding it for 4 beats, each chord. So, fortunately, I believe, lucky me. And every time on the second, so you go, hit your root note, which if you're doing it like I am, you're not playing the top 2 strings, it's the 4th string there. But if you want to do it properly, it would probably be the E, but anyway, not the point. And then on the second beat, fortunately, that's the start of the second. I always hit the high E on all 4 ways around. So, and then it's more just thumb playing one of the chords, the root chord, and then just strumming through it. And then there, so what you can see there is this is still technically a G chord, but what Matty does is he doesn't play the middle finger first, and then when he gets to the second time around, he hammers it on. And the reason he does that is because the first time you play the chorus, so fortunately I believe, lucky me. Here, he'll play it on the A. Then I'm searching for planes in the sea, and that's irony. Here he does it on the D, and then he hammers. This is the only time you ever release your index finger of the A. He then for 2 beats goes. So he pulls both the middle finger and the index finger off, and then he hammers them back on. He goes down strum, he down strums with them off, stop, up, and hammers them on. And then the other 2 times it's back onto the A. That's 90% of the song just there, right? It's literally just 4 chords, same pattern repeating over and over again. Once again, play it in slow-mo for the ear, and learn to hear with your ear which chords to hit and like what sounds nice. It can be individualized quite easily. But providing you're doing that root hit, and then the stop, and then the hammer onto the string below, that's most of what the sound is that you're hearing when he plays. I'm quickly going to teach you the transitions, just so that way you know what they are. There's 2 ways that you can do the first transition from the verses. Well, from the verses to the chorus, there's 2 ways you can do it. The way I did it in my first video is I just took my pinky off the high E and put it on the G string 3rd fret. So that makes that not sound. And then you can just play that chord instead. So you can go... What's it? Do that, and then you can go into the chorus. Or, and what Matty does, it's quite similar to a lot of the songs he does. He does it on the D, and he focuses a lot on that D string when he does his transition, and he goes 3rd fret, and then let go of the pinky, so it's then the 2nd fret of D, and then he let go of his middle finger, and then he hammers on the 2nd finger later. I'll play that as well. Keep forgetting the last word. I'm in love with a boy I know. But there's just something I never show. Fortunately, I believe. So you see there that they both work. And if you find it hard to focus on that D string and then just strumming, it's just I'm just doing an up flick on it and then strumming down, strumming up and up flicking again. And every time I up flick, I swap what I'm doing. If you're struggling with that, just play it for 2 beats with the pinky on the G. It still sounds really nice, and it's got this, like, it's a different sound, but it's quite a nice sound still, so you can use it. But if you want to play it like Matty does, work on those hammer-ons on the D. Yeah. The other one is the transition from the chorus to the verse again. And that is just what you do with your normal verse. So you'd be... And if we turn to a tree, can I be the leaves? And now it's the A minor 7, G, C, G, C, and then he's into the next verse. That's it. I'm in love with the girl next door. Her name's Claire. You get the picture. That's the entirety of the song. Yeah, that's it, basically. If you have any issues with it, and if I haven't explained something, feel free to comment in below and I'll address anything. It's my first tutorial video, so I don't really know how it's going to go, and if it's going to be helpful at all, but I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, any questions, leave below, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.